All right. Hello, hello. Little under the weather today. Uh, running a little behind. I apologize. But my name is Chris Palmer. In this SEO coaching mastermind live that we do every single Thursday, it's going to be 4 to 6 p.m. What we'll be introducing coming up soon is going to be Restream. And what Restream is kind of like StreamYard. Now, StreamYard, Restream, same difference. I'll be able to share a link so we could actually communicate live. We can actually show up together during the live stream. So that way we can communicate face to face, especially as the weeks go on and we stop showing these live. Now, let me blow my nose. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit... My little guy got me sick. But Matt, I noticed that you upgraded. Awesome, Matt. If you have any questions or anything I could help you out with specifically, let me know. So Matt's here. Richard, good to see you. What's up, everyone? Good to see you. Adair Jones, howdy. Howdy to you. Only Natural Designs, and howdy. And Carlos, hello. Awesome. Good to see you. If you have any questions right now, please get them in. I think I covered the main basics. This is going to be an SEO consulting, coaching. If there's no questions, what I'll do is today, I want to start building out my beginners training. So what we'll do is optimize a page, from beginning until end. All right. Unless you have questions or something I can help you with. If there's something you would like me to teach you, if you want me to walk through something, let me know, put it into chat. We'll take care of it. Next week, we'll start doing this on Restream, so that way you could join with me if you want. Also, my helper, his name's Michael. He's been doing, man, so helpful. But what he's been doing is uploading trainings. So we started with some of the older stuff, but it is training. So it's only for members. You'll get training like drive stacks, doing maps, CTR. Slowly but surely, we'll get them all up there. But at least you'll be able to, digest some content. All right. So that's the goal. Get trainings up there. During these sessions, I want to be able to answer questions, interact, but also train the new stuff, right? Because I think that's helpful. Mini trainings are very helpful, right? I'll show you how to do one specific thing, and then I'm building a training out of it, like a big one, Hopefully that makes sense. So I see some questions here. AY, Chris, just paid for writing page service today. Having a hard time with that and supporting content. Quick question, does supporting content, having a hard time with that and supporting content. Quick question, does supporting content need to have traffic? That's an excellent question. So the main concern, the priority, is getting my high commercial intent pages to rank first, right? Oftentimes business owners will get stuck in the trap of building out blog content or information because they get that satisfaction of the traffic, right? But at the end of the day, we're here to earn for our business and our family, right? So what I would do is make sure your high commercial intent pages and your location pages are up. And then if you're going to create that informational content, make sure it's supporting the main idea, right? Like whatever your service is, answer those questions. Who, what, when, why, where, how, and do a best of. Now, with that being said, do the pages need to have traffic? Traffic is the lifeblood of a website, especially a business website. And also the traffic that you're receiving to your website is what your site's about. So that's why we need to stay hyper relevant on the services that we provide. And if we're going to do info, it's only to support the main idea, which is the service. All right. Now, do they need to have traffic? Hey, I feel that if there's no traffic or no links, they should be either pruned or removed. But how long should you wait? If you put up a piece of content and it's been sitting 6 months and there's zero traction, this means the on-page, the internal linking, I haven't built links to it, or it needs to be pruned or updated. All right. But sometimes content takes time to take off, right? So don't get in too big of a rush. As long as we're seeing some impressions, it's starting to show up, it's indexed, it's staying indexed in the search results. I wouldn't be overly concerned with a boatload of traffic, at least not at first. All right. Also, since this is a mastermind, I'm here to give you as much information as I can. As far as content is concerned, give the content time, make sure you're internally linking it. Yeah, I mean, I think I touched on everything. So I'll go to the next question. All right. AY, hey, brother, good to see you. Little under the weather, AY. I think my little guy got me sick again. Dude, like a week ago, 10 days ago, I lost my voice, right? And then I find out this morning that the stuff that I switched to instead of chewing, I guess there's like a lawsuit going on. So, geez, bad choice for me. But yeah, I lost my voice, and then I've been getting sick. Because the little guy goes to school, comes home. But AY, other than that, I'm doing great. Michael, hello, guys. AY content, all right. Carlos, with the new content update, what changes would you make for service pages? So I can only refer back to the last project that actually got hit by some of those updates. And mind you, they got hit before we got our hands on it. So what we did there is we actually recreated the entire page. On top of recreating the entire page, changing headers and the actual content, like in my opinion, gone are the days on new websites that we can create geo-modified pages and start launching pages, right? Previously too, if something got stagnant, all you would do is you'd go in there, change the headers and request crawl, and it would get re-indexed, get traffic. It was like a new page. Now what we're finding is, hey, you need to go in with these updates, clean up all the headers, re-optimize based on the SERP, get some new content in there, at least do your best. I know writing a whole new page can be difficult, but we need to update that page. The density needs to be changed. How many paragraphs, like you have to change the page. Aside from that, I would also make sure that you're getting some schema on the page to name the organization, the web page. Go to schema.org and look at the hierarchy, name the page, name your organization, name some of the images, name the site links that are at the top, like the navigation. These are requirements. It'll help keep the pages indexed. On top of that, let me just double check that question here. What changes would you make for a service page? So schema, get the basic schemas on there. Change the headers. Make sure we're getting content that's matching the SERP's intent. And not only that, like change that content out. Also, too, go into your Search Console and clean up those dead pages. Like just cleaning up and blocking that old stuff, monumental. Like huge changes. So hopefully that helps. All right. AY. My main keyword hardly has traffic. Finding supporting content with traffic is difficult. That's correct. And note, a supporting piece of content or informational content is supporting a main concept and idea, right? And what does that mean? That means that the primary keyword is in the head, the title, the H1. But we have an entire body and H2s and H3s to go further into the topic. Like we can have a lot of content on an informational piece. That's why it's there. It's there to support the idea. So that primary term that you're heading for, that's informational, it might not carry a lot of volume, but a page ranks for more than one keyword. Yes, I'm optimizing for this. This is the main topic, but you could potentially bring in dozens, if not hundreds of keywords, right? So, don't be discouraged. Get those pages up, answer the question to its entirety. You can find success, but you're not going to find success 100% of the time. I have yet to meet an SEO, even the best guys and gals, they're the best, right? Some of the best. I have yet to meet somebody that ranks number one, top 5, no matter what, 100% of the time. I've never met them, never, ever. So don't get discouraged. Do the best that you possibly can, do your internal linking, get your schema, change the pages out, right? Build it out and go for it. But if it just doesn't go, Like, how many times have you created a piece of content, right? You'll create a piece of content, you've done your best work, and it just won't rank. But then you do something half-hearted, and it goes, you know, top of page 2, bottom of page 1. You didn't even try. It, you know, I think it's QDD. Query deserves diversity. You know, like sometimes you just get lucky. You know. So in any case, let's keep going here. Only natural designs, Chris. Chris, what is the difference from citations and directories? Aren't they the same, really? So, good question, and thank you for that. You know, at the end of the day, this is my opinion. I don't know what the textbook definition is, but to me, there's a magnitude of different citations. But the main difference is that on a directory, I can list a name, an address, and a phone number without a link, right? And on top of that, generally directories, I don't need to double verify that I'm actually a business. So a directory could be any website, any place on the web that I could list name, address, phone number. Okay? This could be anywhere. And there's business directories for everything. I could go out there and build them all. Now, a citation has name, address, phone number, a link back to the website. And generally, I have to double verify that I'm actually a business. Generally. Like your top ones, Yelp, Monta, MapQuest, Foursquare, Apple Maps, it's a double verification. Now, here's where the difficulty comes in, at least for me, okay? There's unstructured citations, which are wildly the same as a directory. Because technically speaking, a directory is a name, address, phone number, right? A business description maybe, but anybody from anywhere could go and list their business there, regardless if this is a directory for plumbers or not. Like, I could be a dog groomer and go and list myself on the plumber directory if I wanted to. That's a directory. All right. Unstructured citations, again, super close to a directory. Anytime you could list out name, address, phone number, sometimes a link, that's an unstructured citation. So I don't know if that gives you the answer that you're looking for, or you basically answered it for yourself. They're pretty much the same thing. All right, moving on. Nighthawk, Chris, what links would you use for tier 2 link building and how many? All right. To give an exact, I wouldn't be able to do. All right. But what links would you use for tier 2? The links that you use for tier 2 are cheaper than the links that you used for tier 1. So if the primary website is propped up on citations, directories, press releases, and guest posts, that would mean that whatever's left over is what I would point here, right? But note, you're passing power through an asset, all right? So what I'm getting at here is I would be very selective on paying a high price for tiered links. It has to be much, much lower than what you initially paid. All right. As far as how many, this depends on the link that you're pointing at. Like usually for us, what we like to do is, let's say we build out our directories or our unstructured citations, PR, that type of stuff. What we'll do is we'll find the least authoritative asset, and that's where we start building tiers to. And when we build tiers in this manner, it could be Google News syndication, podcast syndication, GSA primarily. All right. I think for you, you have so many pages on your site. Most business owners, they get focused on their homepage and 1 or 2 service pages. But you can build a lot of links to your site fast as long as you're building them to different pages. Like, why spend money to help someone else's site and only get half the benefit? Send links to your own site. If you need to send it, if it has to be a cheaper link, send it to a blog article, send it to a supporting article, send it to a contact page, but send that referring domain to the site. All right, and just make sure you're busting it up. but I'd rather get all of that equity. That vote I want to count for me. Now, if it's something that you don't want to build to your site, or you think it's like, well, then you're the webmaster. You need to make that decision, you know, like don't go too cheap. All right. Hopefully that helps you out. Shuttle Bus Wives. Hello to you. AY Chris, sorry for using the wrong terminology when I'm saying traffic. I mean search volume. 70 a month for main keyword. Supporting has 10 to 20 per month. This is so common, right? So your high commercial primary term has much higher volume than supporting. But you have to consider this. Like almost every business owner I've worked with, like they always think that the site's going to get a lot more traffic and visibility than it actually does, right? Like that's just one lure in the water. You have a 70 and a 20. That's only 2 pages. You get what I'm saying here? Like if that's what the traffic volume is, that's what the traffic volume is. But with that being said, those pages are going to rank for more than one thing. So you optimize for the primary, the thing that makes the most sense for the site and as supporting. Meanwhile, we are building out those pages, and don't forget, you're going to refresh those pages every 90 days to 6 months. You're going to come back and add keywords. It's called keyword gap analysis. You're going to go to your search console and you're going to see, hey, what am I getting a lot of impressions for, but I'm not ranking high? Those are the keywords you go back and you add to the page and you instantly rank. That's how you add keywords to the page. All right. So hopefully that helps you out. But don't be swayed by if it makes sense for the site, if it's supporting content, as long as there's some type of volume, it's worth going for. If it helps support the main service, I would build it out. It's just a page, you know, because at the end of the day, you're trying to become the authority in your space. The reason for supporting content is to build depth of concept on a main idea. If your main idea is affordable plumbing, well, then I need to support that main idea, right? Depth of concept. So there's depth of concept, and then there's how big am I going to get? How much of an authority am I going to get? So you get bigger and you get older. That's building authority. Then I build depth of concept, and that's depth, right? How many pages do I have about a specific topic? That's how it's done. All right. So hopefully that helps you. AY. So my question is, do I still write if search volume is low for supporting content? Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Check that primary term. Just because it's low, that page has the ability to rank for more than one keyword. There's only so many question words. There's only so many hyper-specific questions to support a main topic, right? At the end of the day, there's only who, what, when, why, where, how, and a best of list about a topic. And generally, those particular questions, like you can put them in any variant that you want, but at the end of the day, there's only 7. Once you answer those questions, I have my supporting articles. Now, what can I explain in those 7 articles? You can go wide here. You can go broad. You can have a very large page here. All right, hopefully that helps you. All right, so Colin, good to see you. Hey, Chris, for the questions section on, here, let me just make this a little bigger. There we go. On Google Business Profile, do location mentions in questions help maps rankings? Also, does it matter where the person is located when they ask the question? Okay, so 2 and 1. So for the question section on the Google Business Profile, do location mentions in the questions help? Okay, not on the answer, but on the ask. You know, it's always about the user. We tested this specifically, right? You know, we did thumbs up, like interaction in the profile. One of the things that we found was on your website, you list out your services, right? Also on your website, you list out your services and what cities or towns you provide them in. So it's very easy to come up with the questions that need to be asked, right? So what are the questions? You know, do you offer this service here? Do you offer this service here? Do you offer this service there? Right? And then your reply is, yes, I absolutely do. And here's the page, or here's where you can learn more. All right. Does it help? Definitely, but it needs to be unique profiles. You know, for a time there, I've even made videos on this. Here, excuse me. I made videos on this. You know, for a time there, you were able to go in as the user, as the owner, ask a question and answer it and get a lift. You know, that was 2 years ago. So what we find now, what I know for a fact now is if I can get multiple profiles to go in there and ask a question, and then I, as the owner, go in and answer it within 24 hours, yes, you do see a noticeable difference in those locations and for those specific keywords. Also, too, if I can get the question answer, and then on top of that, I have the page on my site, and then on top of that, in my reviews, they're talking about those locations and those keywords, you just perform better. Absolutely. Because it's the same concept as a website. If you take a look at Google Business Profile, think of it like a website. Think of the product section, category, and then product, right? So top level page or primary service page, and then you have your city pages, right? There's your product section. That's exactly how I look at it. So I think I answered it perfect. I don't want to give you too much here. I don't want to keep going. I like to make sure I answer to the entirety. Question section on Google Business Profile. Also, does it matter where the person, okay, let's touch on this. Does it matter where the person is located when they ask the question? No, it doesn't. But it's very easy. You know, I do feel, no, it doesn't matter. But we never know what Google's going to do tomorrow, right? So it is very easy, like we do know, because I have a proxy service, I know that it's not about IP. It's about device location, right? So it's very simple to change my device location to be hyper specific to where I'm asking the question. For instance, if you're in Boulder, right, and this guy is in the Philippines, we'll just say, if he can change that session to be in Boulder and ask the question, it came from Boulder. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. But again, you never know what they're going to do tomorrow. That might change. So as of now, it's all about device location. Okay. Only natural designs. My homepage is on page 1, but the top competition are ranking inner pages. What did I do wrong? I'm in the home remodeling niche. Okay. So, do you offer more than one service? Yes, usually yes. And then do you offer more than one service in more than one location? Do you have multiple locations that you service? Do you offer more than one service? Well, that would mean that I need to have a page that's dedicated to that. So your home page is ranking, but really Google's rewarding inner pages. And on top of that, I don't want my homepage to compete with my inner pages. So where did you go wrong? In my personal opinion, if you answered yes to those questions, yes, I service more than one area, and I offer more than one service, which is 99.9% of people and business owners like yourself, then where you got it wrong is you've optimized your homepage for primary keyword plus location, when really, Google is rewarding inner pages, and I don't want to compete with myself. Like, I bet you if you go into Search Console and take a look at, click on pages, better yet, click on keywords. Go to the keywords that matter the most to you inside of Search Console. Click on that. When you click on keywords, then go over to pages and look at how many pages are competing for the same keywords. You're just fighting yourself, right? And when you're fighting yourself, Google's adjusting, right? It's a constant battle. Like, you have to nail the foundation and the interlinking from the door. Like, it's, like I've been speaking about this and with clients on YouTube in the mastermind, like, hey, structuring and interlinking is massively important. The reason why I talk about it and the reason why I'm always like, hey, get the structure right is because I failed, Like we used to, I probably even have videos out there. What we were doing, and it was working flawlessly on small sites, is we were interlinking every single page. Every page, every service, every city, we were doing head, foot, body, site-wide. We're going to interlink everything. And why would we do that? To get the A count up. A is the href, the A tag. It's the link. A tags are a factor. Like how many hyperlinks are on the page. So we were like, hey, let's interlink everything. But what I quickly realized as the months rolled by and as the updates started happening and as Google's AI is getting better at understanding concepts and content, I quickly realized that we have to stay hyper specific on topics. You know, build a top level. This is the main concept, and then this is underneath it. All right. I know I gave you more than what you asked, but that's where you went wrong. All right. So hopefully that helps. Sammy Lamoni. Hey, Chris, would it make sense to instead make service plus location pages, make location plus service pages? This way, each location page can be like its own homepage for the service area. You know, regardless of how you stack it or how you put it, like if you want to put Colorado personal injury lawyer instead of personal injury lawyer Colorado, you know, it's the same keyword, right? Google can't read. Now, what I would make sure of, though, is the search volume there? You know, what I've noticed over time is people in, this is hypothetical, people in California search for things differently than people in Texas. So sometimes people that are in a specific area will put the location before the keyword. But 99% of the time, it's keyword then location. But to answer your question, could I put location and then keyword? Yeah, of course you can. Of course, you need both variations on the page. You're going to do it in the body content and inside of a header, right? That's just proper optimization. You know, the reason why I always go keyword location is I front load keyword and location, but the true reason is that's how most people search. So hopefully that helps you out. Nick, yo, Chris, what's up, Nick? Good to see you. Zach, hey, Chris, I want to know what I should consider KD of a keyword while keyword research for local SEO. No, because it sometimes puts you in a place to make bad decisions. You know, at the end of the day, if you're a local business, your services are set in stone, regardless of keyword difficulty. Like, it doesn't matter what that says. Like, if you're a personal injury lawyer or a car accident lawyer, yes, the keyword difficulty is 90, but that's what you do, right? So no, it's completely irrelevant. Now, you can make some changes as you get into supporting content, right? Like, would I build out a supporting piece of content that has 2 million results and has a KD of 89? No, I wouldn't. I would look for a secondary keyword or something more long tail. But when we're talking about commercial intent pages where this is the service I provide, this is my keyword, like this is what I do, I don't look at it. No. You know, especially for a service business. Like, that's what we're targeting. All right. So I hope that helps you out. I wouldn't be overly concerned with that. All right. All right, you can go ahead and get your questions in. What we're going to do today is I'm building out a mini training for on-page SEO. This will be a little bit different, WP login.php than what you saw on YouTube, because this is going to go private. It's a private group. This will be an official mini training. Even though I'm sick, that should be okay. All right, so you can feel free to get your questions in the chat. I'm just going to go over here, go to videos. I just want to make sure I have enough room. File settings, okay. Output, recordings, it is going new. Desktop, hide videos, new videos, YouTube. Okay. All right. All right. Let's see here. Free space, 56 gigs. Okie dokie. All right. Wow, this is 55 gigabytes in here. What is in here? Oh, I know what it is. Okay. All right. Let's get rid of this stuff. All right. All right, so stream. And again, please get your questions in. But besides doing group coaching, group consulting, answering questions, and please note for those that joined after I made this announcement, what we will introduce next week is, I haven't decided yet. I think I still have a license for Restream, but regardless, whether it's Restream or StreamYard, we will share a URL. It's browser based, or you'll be able to join the meeting. You can either show your face or not, but you'll be able to interact live. You know, we can answer questions, we could take a look at your sites, but it'll be more of a, you know, it's more like a meet, like a consultation. You know, it's like one-on-one, because really the goal here is to help everybody, right? And then teach whatever the newest, whatever I can, all right? My only goal is to help as much as I possibly can. So just so you know about that. All right, so let's go down here, 1920 by 1080. That looks good. All right, that's why I made this small. Trainings, I like to keep me small. That way. Okay. So if you have any more, Carlos will be uploaded to the SEO Mastermind community playlists. On the homepage ranking issue, okay, where is this training be available? Where will this training be available? So Carlos, I think Michael took care of you there, but this is also an announcement if you just joined me or joined us. What we're doing slowly but surely, because it's a lot of files, is we will be adding some, not all, trainings. So courses, trainings. I think he started with entity stacks, right? Yes, they've lost a lot of their power over the years. However, if you stick to the strategy that I share, right, you're making the assets, it's still helpful for maps, you know, especially, I actually have a file, it might even be on this computer. There's 127 businesses in there. They're one location, one service. It's a homepage that's attached to a GBP, right? Out of that 127, I would say that 90 of them are in the 3-pack. And one of the primary strategies, or at least the first strategy, was, hey, we're building out a stack. Not an advanced stack, not like where it takes a lot of time. We're building out the assets, pointing it to the property. You know, that was step one. I'm not saying that's the only thing. So there's still value there for maps. Plus, it's fun to learn. All right. But it's no longer, I think I created that training in 2021. I updated it. So a lot has changed in 3 years. All right. But I still get requests like, hey, how do you do this? So that's why we started with that. All right. I'm going to empty my bin. We're going to come over here. All right. We're going to go here. Go here. Okay. All right, now it's been a little bit since I've been in here. So I believe I would like to have this one. All right. Now the only thing different here though is the background. What we're going to do is we're going to make that black. There we go. Blue. This we're going to make a little bit bigger. I know, you're seeing all the fun stuff. Bear with me. On page SEO, I like this one here. Ay caramba. Why does it keep doing this to me? Oh. I know why. There. All right, that's good enough. And then I never like to promote, so what we're going to do is we're going to go like this. If you have questions, please get them in. What we are going to do now, though, is I'm going to walk through a mini training. Again, the main goal here is to help you first and foremost. But once we get through those questions, I'd like to start putting out mini trainings. Now we're going to start with this. All right. Theme transition. What I need is, where is the SEOmastermind.org. This. All right, we're going to shrink these up just a little tiny bit. And then we're going to make them, I was going to go gray. Okay, white it is. And bold, a little bigger. Okay. Perfect. On page SEO. And I think that looks pretty cool. Maybe it's just me, but I'm happy. Yeah, I think we're going to go with this blue right here. Oh. All right. All right. Theme, layout, okay. And I think we're good. I think that ought to do it. I have the name there. And click on this. Perfect. Okay, let's go back over here and see if there's any questions. All right, let me just make sure. Where will this training be available? This particular training will be in the members only section. Sorry, Carlos. A little sick. I don't mean to blow my nose in your ear. Admire Jones, on the homepage ranking issue, is it okay to rank for service, like tree service? In my personal opinion, the homepage is sacred for brand. It's almost like your About Us page, which previously would be a very valuable page, right? But on the homepage, I want to talk all about the brand. You know, this is the directional page, a navigational page. It's all about who you are, what you do, where you do it, right? It's just a landing page. It's just your homepage. It's just about brand. I want to rank my homepage for my brand because that's the head entity. This is who we are, / this is what we do, / this is where we do it. Much like, does that sound similar to the structure of a citation? Right? Like, I'm just saying, we're trying to build, hey, here's the main entity, here's our name, here's what we do and here's where we do it. And then that's exactly how we build the site. All right, so hopefully that helps. Okay, thanks. No problem, Carlos. So should I remove my site-wide internal links and do what instead? And how can I talk more to you in a consult? Okay. So if you have more than one service offering it in more than one city, I would assume that you do, right? There's still top level pages. If you're only in one state, then you put your top level pages in the head and in the foot. Then when you're on an individual service page, you then have you internally link in the body, because that's the strongest place to link in that body content, whether you want to put it in the content, in the sidebar, make a table and just put the links in like blocks. You interlink to the city pages offering that service. All right. Here, I'll share with you on my site in 2 seconds here. That's a good question. And then Matsor Quebec. Hey, mate. I love these. I'm not great to see you, but I love those, like that slang. Like, mate, cheers. It's good to see you, brother. I have a question about expired domains and recent Google updates. Just bought a domain before it. Got a few good links. Should I redirect them or is it too risky? Thanks. All right. So this is a grave error that I have made in the past myself, and I continuously see business owners do. They invest $200, $300 into a domain, even $100. For that $100, there's some fluff, but at the end of the day, there's one, maybe two good links, like super awesome, potent links. And then what they do is they pass all of that relevance, right, from the past owner to their homepage or internal pages to really only get that one link. So with that being said, if you're going to do a 301 redirect, all right, I don't ever purchase a domain that has less than 500 referring domains. It needs to have 500 referring domains, and it has to be at least a DR30. A DR30, a TrustFlow 15, 500 referring domains, and it has to have a clean anchor profile. I don't care if it's branded, right? I don't care if they're naked, but if the top anchor text is primary term of the past, it's an overlook. But there's certain criteria. With that being said, once you have that domain, DR30, TrustFlow 15 or better, 500 referring domains, it has several good links. You then get that asset and you put it up on a dollar host or on a cloud host, right? You then take that URL and you put it inside of SEMrush. Inside of SEMrush, on the domain overview page, you put the URL and you scroll down to the bottom. At the very bottom, you'll see something that'll be pages by referring domains, right? There's a terminology here. I'll show you. So you come into here. Okay, I'll show you briefly. Okay. Scroll down the page. All right. Oh, my mistake. It's in the backlink analytics. Hey, I mess up too. I mess up all the time, actually. But here, scroll down the page. Here we are. See this top pages. So it's under backlink analytics. I put the URL in, and then I look at backlink analytics, right? See, oftentimes what you'll find is there's usually the home page and one, maybe two other pages that actually have the bulk of the links. I'm not worried about junk, or I'm not worried about one or two, because I want to minimize the amount of redirects. So what we'll do is we'll get that domain. We'll put it up on a host for at least 60 days. And what we're aiming to do is build out these URLs exactly how they were. Exactly how they were doesn't mean I have to put the same content. But what needs to be there is the exact same URL. All right? Because what we're looking to see is when I launch that page, does it go into the search results? Does it take a long time to go into the search results? right? We also want to see, am I going to get a manual action? Will I get a penalty? If I put some text on there, does it index, right? There's questions. Also, too, you'll notice when you set a site up, especially expired or an auction, oftentimes links will fall off, and what you'll notice is you've lost your equity, and you're like, why? Now, hopefully you're with me. So I bought a domain, I put it into SEMrush, backlink analytics. I check for top pages. I build the URL structure exactly how it was where the majority of the links are. I let it sit for 60 days. Once that's done, pages are indexing, no penalties. I put up a piece of content, it went right away. It indexed right away. It was fast. The next step is you need to create a 301, all right, from the individual page to an individual page, but never link to your home page on your home website. Never link home to home. Never, ever. You might get lucky. I'm sure there's people that have, but I've had nothing but trouble with that. Pass that link relevance to internal pages. Okay? Don't go home to home, because then it changes. It takes too long for Google to catch up and realize what happened. So it's much better to go to internal pages. Build those URLs and then 301 individually page by page. If you're using an SEO plugin, you could do this very, very easily. Or you could look up how to create a 301 redirect and add it to my HTA access file. But it's page by page, individual pages. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. All right, now let's address this issue here. All right, so here I'm going to do this. On page SEO. How about this? Taught by, I like that. Taught by Chris Palmer. Beautiful. All right. If you have any questions, again, feel free to get them in. Oops. Okay. Here, I'll go double check. Let me get the intro up. Okay. Thank you very much. Such detailed response. Absolutely. I'm here to help, my friend. Glad to help. I really am. All right. Okay. All right, we're still here together. Don't worry. Okie doke. Oh, it's this page here. Presenter view. Okie doke. Hello and welcome to the on-page SEO training. I will be your instructor and teacher, Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. This will be a step-by-step advanced on-page SEO training made so easy a beginner will be able to learn. So I do not want to waste any time. Let's get directly into today's on-page SEO lesson. All right. Here, because I don't want to have to keep typing it. Okay. All right. Chris, could you do press release training? I can. So the very first video is this. So here, let's just do this briefly. I'm going to get to the internal linking, but let me just lay out this page quick. Okay. Hello and welcome back to the training. So in this video, what we will do is we will quickly identify a primary keyword that we need to target. So in this case, I have already identified a primary keyword that not only is going to be very fun for this particular training, but also I have a chance to rank for it because this training, how I'm going to teach you is by utilizing the number 0 and of course LSI and primary keywords, variations, and exact matches. You'll learn all about that as we go. With that being said, I want to go ahead and share this with you. It's going to be GSA Search Engine Ranker List. Okay. GSA Search Engine Ranker List. So this is going to be the primary keyword that we're going to be targeting. So what we want to do is I'm going to go ahead and just log right into my WordPress, add a new page, and the very first element that I want to share with you is that we need to name the title of the page the primary keyword. So let's go ahead and do that together. So this is going to be the name or the title of the page. Now, I would hope that you're utilizing a SEO plugin. If not, you can just name the title the primary term. So I will go down here and add this to my title, primary keyword in the title, primary keyword plus brand in the meta description. The reason why we're not overly aggressive inside the meta description is because based upon the intent of the searcher, Google will interchange out particular words and phrases from your content and by what you add inside of the meta description. So you could, if you would like, fill this out a lot, but what I like to do is put the primary term, then brand name, and then I'll go ahead and just put the primary keyword again, plus a variation. So we have title, meta description, and the name of the page. All right. And then if you can see here, we have the slug is the primary keyword. So URL, title, meta description, we have identified our keyword. We've added it to these particular sections. That's step number 1. So what we'll do in the next session is we will walk through how to do an analysis and figure out, well, how many words should we write for this keyword? But I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I'll see you then. Okay. All right, this is not a keyword research video. 2. Optimize title and optimize title and meta description. Okay. All right, now let me share this with you because I think I should be able to have this page up now. Oh, did I hit the wrong button? That's okay. Ah, dang it, I always do that. That's okay. The step won't change. See, I did it again. Here, you gotta go here. GSA, search engine ranker. You have to launch it in the builder. I use something called Live Canvas. I don't have a brand deal or anything. I don't do stuff like that. It's just something I use and I love. And the reason is because it converts the WordPress and all the bloat into HTML and CSS. It's super clean and the sites load really, really fast. So you don't get all the customizations, but it's lightning fast. So that's what I care about. All right, let's go back over here to address this page. Dashboard, all pages, trash, delete, all pages. Okay, GSA. All right, quick edit. Primary keyword, primary keyword, primary keyword. LISTS, so that's lists, search, engine, ranker, a list. All right, so that's title, that's this. The canonical is going to be this. We'll set the canonical. I'll do that with them. All right, update. Okie doke. We'll see if you have any questions about anything. All right, great. So I'm just going to stop for a second and answer these questions. And I appreciate your questions. Feel free to add them in. Next week, again, if you just joined us, I noticed a few more people came on. What I want to do, what I will do, is it'll either be StreamYard or Restream. And inside of the community tab, I'll give you a URL that you can join the stream live. All right, we can chat inside of there. We can meet face to face. I could look at your assets, do an audit, whatever you would like. If you want to show up and not show your face, you can keep your screen on. But just so we can have, more communication. It'll feel like we're in the same room. It'll be fun. I think it'll be really fun. We'll share it out online so we could have like live callers, and we'll see what kind of fun that is. Hey, mate, I have a question about expired. Okay, we did that one. Thank you very much. Thank you for your detailed response. My pleasure. Jefferson Thomas. Hey, Chris, I've purchased a consult in the past. You rock. Thank you, Jefferson. Glad I could help. Adair Jones. Chris, could you do a press release marketing training? Press release marketing training. I definitely can. The utilization of PR is different from marketer to marketer. We utilize them pretty much for three things. One, to opinion sculpt our competitor's brand name, right? So, we can use high-powered PR to write reviews about our competition. I'm just saying that's a strategy. Not saying that's for everybody. The other element is we like to create awards and create announcements. And then the last thing is we want to build, it's just for links. At the end of the day, it's just for links. Now, we like to create awards so we can add it to schema and we can create best ofs. Best of is actually informational. And then I can target my competitors' brand names, right? It's fun. But okay, I could do a training. it just depends on the angle. I could probably break that down, but not everybody has access to these really wild distributions. Most people like myself, I have 2 separate syndication networks that I'm through, right? Global Newswire, right? That's my premium. I have Global Newswire. That's who we distribute through. And then we offer a basic package that's actually a private one, right? If you look, it's Chris Palmer Marketing, which is super cool. But we get on Market Watch, Digital Journal. We're after links. But that's a great idea, sir. Thank you for that suggestion. Ring Salah. Hopefully I didn't butcher that. Hey, Chris, a SEO consultant in our client company said that fixing broken 404 links is unnecessary. Is that true? That Google ignores broken links? They have thousands of broken links. Okay. So he's right, but he's also wrong. A 404 is only a status code, right? So this is a server, it's a server response code. So this means when a robot, Google, comes to a page, the server says, hey, this is gone. It's not here, right? Now, if you have a big site or a small site, if it's a tiny little site and you have 3 or 4, no issue. And he's right. You can ignore them, and eventually, it could take 6 months. Google will remove them from the SERPs, right? And they'll stop visiting those pages, and they'll visit the pages that you actually want to rank. Now, we like to be a little bit more proactive, and here's why he's wrong. If there's a page that's gone, and it's 404, right? The best thing to do, if you go take a look at the guidelines, is Google recommends to block those pages inside of robots.txt. So you block those pages in robots.txt because Googlebot reads that robots file first. So we block these URLs, and then meanwhile, inside of outdated content inside of Search Console, you submit that same list, and then you update your sitemap that does not contain those pages, of course. So you update the sitemap, remove as outdated, so remove from the SERP its outdated content, and then block in robots.txt, and this alleviates Googlebot coming to pages that have no value. I don't want them coming to 404s. I want them to go to my blog articles. I want them to go to my primary pages, right? I don't want them crawling that. If they only allocate 100 page crawls to you, right? Do I want to waste those 100 on pages that don't exist? Google could crawl those thousands of pages and be like, all right, I'm out of here. This doesn't have anything, right? It's a robot, who knows? So we just alleviate that. So hopefully that helps you out. But he is right. You could just leave it and Google will figure it out. But when, right? It's your website. This is a digital business. And Google gives recommendations. So hopefully that helps. Zaz, it's good to fix those links. Exactly. Hey, Chris, but the question was not about how to do the redirect. It was asking, is it not too risky to do it now? Just after that update where Google mentioned that some YouTubers I completely understand that. I understood the question, right? Is it risky? It's risky if you don't follow the protocol, right? Like if you just go out there and buy a domain and 301 it, that's risky. If you go out there and buy multiple and 301 a bunch of them without setting it up, without testing it, without making sure it indexes, making sure you don't get a penalty, yes, that's risky. Now, if you're very selective on the website that you choose, if you're selective on setting up the site specifically exactly how it was, if you're selective about being patient and waiting for those pages to index, waiting to see what falls off, what goes, and then also where you redirect those pages to, never the home page, internal pages. If you follow these rules, right? These are rules that I gave my team. You will not run into any issues. But do I feel that websites that were previously ultra powerful, if I just buy it and 301 it to my homepage, is that as effective as it was in 2017? No, it is not. No, it is not. You have to go page by page and you have to be very selective. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. J5, cool idea. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Sao Paulo, big up to you, sir. Sammy Linney, a lot of agencies offer monthly SEO service, but what they actually do every month to help with SEO. But what do they actually do? I've been in this business a long time. Some agencies take half for the campaign, half for them. Some take 3/4 for them and 1/4 for you goes into the campaign. You know, SEO and search marketing, it's we're allocating resources towards very specific things. We're buying time and individual services, whether that's a link, a citation, a directory, a press release, a link insert. There's time and then there's actual service, right? So agencies, you're paying a high premium. Depending on which agency, they could take half, they could take 3/4, it depends on the agency. Everybody's different, okay? They'll give you the reports and they'll talk to you and they'll take it off your plate, but you're paying a heavy premium to have them manage it. Like their objective is to keep you on as long as possible, right? I clearly disagree with that. I know that recurring income is important. Like I've been laughed at by my own peers. Like, why do you do this? To me, it's a dollar for a deliverable. My number and my time and my profit is built into the number per service because I've already figured out how long it takes me to do it. I know how much it costs for me to execute it. I know how much time it's going to take for me to email you. I know exactly what I'm going to make, right? I've even built in for communications because some clients, they might not be able to understand how to fill out the form. They don't know how to find their maps URL for a citation, and then you have to assign somebody, I call it a success manager, to meet them to fill out their form because they never had to go find a URL before. They're a plumber, right? It's understandable. So with that being said, be very selective on the agencies. I would have a general idea of what you need. And yeah, not all, and again, too, there's a lot of great agencies out there, right? So, and at the end of the day, you're not buying a service, you're buying a result, right? So value and cost are two different things. See, they're putting a cost on it as 2,000 and they might not be giving you the right service, but was the value to you worth it? So you have to make that decision. I've talked to business owners that I'm like, wow, you got, the rug pulled out. And they're like, oh, no, I'm happy. And I'm like, oh, okay. We all see the same thing through different eyes, So best wishes to you. Hopefully that helps. Hey, thank you for the live. It's my pleasure. I believe that guy was following those rules and still got down. Well, so there's a saying, I play a lot of cards, and it goes, if you think long, you think wrong, right? If there's something, you have to make that decision. I take the risk. If there is risk, it's a very mitigated risk. It's a very minute, very small amount of risk by following that protocol. But I think with anything, anything where you're trying to manipulate search rankings, it is against the guidelines, right? Building backlinks, building 500 PR links to your site is against the guidelines, no matter how great the sites are, right? At the end of the day. All right, Musafer says, hopefully I didn't butcher your name, but many backlinks I got in SEMrush, but those backlinks page are not indexed. My questions are, they create value for my website? Okay. Mr. Rahman. So I spend a considerable amount of time each week setting up tests, but also reading patents. I was very good friends with Bill Slosky. He taught me a lot about how to search for patents, who writes the patents, what are secondary names besides Google LLC that are holdings that they'll hold patents in. It makes great toilet material, right? Free time, going for a ride, I'm in the back seat, you know. With that being said, there is a patent, it's very clear about Google's indexing. You know, at the end of the day, there's a forward-facing index, and then there's the index. Every site that Google has came to is in the index. Now, whether that site makes it into the search results, the forward-facing index, you know, because there's the search results, there's a filter in place. There's a ranking algorithm. There's CTR, there's traffic, there's session time. There's a lot of filters, right? So the question comes down to, are links that have been crawled, they don't show up in the search results, but they have been indexed. Google knows they exist. Does it pass value? And the answer is yes, it does. If Google has seen it and it's in the index, it passes PageRank. Now, if it's a very, you know, human generated content, blog comments, image links, if it's complete and utter garbage, just like those other filters I was talking about when it comes to search results, there's filters in place that just turn a blind eye to certain types of links. Like, links have been devalued over the course of time. They still hold value, they still hold weight, they still help. However, like, that type of stuff just doesn't move the needle. So if it's not showing up due to quality, then those links don't have any value. Yes, Google counted them, but they're not passing anything. It didn't make it past the filter. All right. So hopefully that helps you out. Yo, boss. Yo to you. Mo Kali. Got my ranking back for my main keywords. Thanks to you and your team. Chris, you guys rock. Mo Elite. Mo. You're welcome, brother. I was about to go take a look. All I did was optimize that homepage temporarily while we build out those inner pages. I don't know if they went back and changed it, but in any case, let's go back to hello and welcome back to the training. So in this video, we are going to go right back where we left off. We've identified our keyword. We have gone over to our WordPress install. At least for this training, it's going to be WordPress. We created our page. And more notably, when we created our page, we set our title and our slug to contain the primary key term. We then, if we're using an SEO plugin, we set the SEO title, primary keyword, and then the meta description contains the primary keyword and a variation. Variations could be backwards and or have a word like an S on it, like lists instead of list, okay? So we've doubled this up and also put our brand name. Now the next element that I want to go ahead and do is I would like to add a canonical. The canonical signifies to Google that this is the original page. This is the page, all right? So this is helpful for security reasons, but more notably, when you're running your advertising, if you have a primary page and then you create 10 duplicates because you're testing something, you would create a rel canonical on these pages and you would say, hey, this is the original page. That way this page doesn't get hurt, okay? This is just one instance. So rel canonical tells Google that this is the actual original page, okay? So then we're going to take GSA. Search engine ranker list. Okay, so now we have identified the canonical tag, set our title, meta description. Now what we will do is we will go in and start optimizing our page. But before we optimize our page, we need to first figure out how many words we need to write. So in the next video, what I'm going to walk you through is going to be, how do you figure out exactly what words to write, how many words to write, how many headers? I'm going to walk you through that process in the next video. So I'll see you then. Okay. All right, bear with me here. All right. All right, so here we go. Just bear with me. All right. All right. Hello and welcome. I messed it up. Sorry. Hello and welcome back to the training. So in this video, what I will walk you through is how to understand how many words you need to write based on the primary keyword. Inside of this training, inside of this particular video, I'll walk you through how to understand how many words you need, but also how many headers you're going to need, how many zones, all right? And then on top of that, I'll teach you how to optimize those zones for the best results. So let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and get into that now. So the very first thing that you will need, unless you already have a tool, I like for my projects and for specific clients that I work on, I like to do the counts manually. So that's how I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you how to count manually. Very simple, but this is foundational on-page SEO. So the two tools that I like to use, these are my go-tos for counting quick, are going to be SEO Quake. You know, there's other word counters too, but SEO Quake is a free Chrome extension. I'll put it into the resource tab. So SEO Quake, Chrome extension. All right. So SEO Quake. And we're working on a tool to replace this, but for now we use SEO Pro extension. This young lady has made an excellent tool and I love it. I don't know her, but I do use her tool. And yeah. So I will add these two tools to the resource section, so that way you don't have to fumble around looking for them. All right. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. Let's open this up. SEO Pro, SEO Quake. Hello and welcome back to the training. In this on-page video, we've already gone ahead in the past videos, taken care of the title, the canonical, the meta description. We've identified our keyword. Now, once that is done, the very next thing is we need to then identify how many words we're going to need to write. On top of that, how many headers we need to add and how many headers we need to optimize. Now, before we can do this, we need some tools in order to speed up the process. Now, for myself, for anything that I do personally, any affiliate stuff, lead gen, and very particular clients, I like to count manually. So that's how I'm going to share with you. Now, there are tools out there that can help you with the math process, but it's good to understand exactly what they're counting. All right. So I'm going to walk you through how to count words, density, headers, and optimize headers. And I'll explain all of these elements with you as the training goes on. But in order to speed this up, the counting and the understanding, you will need some Chrome extensions. I use Google Chrome on a PC. If you do not have Google Chrome, you will need to have an alternative to fill these places. All right. So I will add inside of the resource section SEO Quake. Along with that, I'll also have the SEO Pro extension. And these are the links for the Google Chrome extensions that are completely free to download so you can follow along with this training. So in the next video, what we'll do is I'll break down the counting, the process of understanding what we will need to do to rank. So I don't want to waste any time. I'll see you in the next video. Okay. So Chrome extensions for needed SEO Chrome extensions. There you go. And then what I'll do is I will make this file save as videos on page SEO resources. Save. And I might need to add some more, but for now that's good. Okie doke. Hello and welcome back to the training. In this video, we have already identified our keywords. We've already put in our title tag, which is your primary keyword. We've added our meta description, which is our keyword, plus website, plus variation. We've also added our canonical tag. Now, I've also shared with you the 2 Chrome extensions that you're going to need in order to proceed with this particular video. This is the most important video so far. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go head on out to Google Chrome. We want to make sure that we clean out our history, our cookies. We don't want any search history here. And we want to make sure that our Chrome extensions are on. All right. So SEO Quake and SEO Pro extension. All right, we don't want to change our GPS location. Now what you want to do is type in the primary key term. All right, GSA, search engine ranker list. This is not a terribly difficult keyword, but like I mentioned, in order to share with you the power of on-page, and it'll explain a lot to you, the power of on-page and what I'm teaching you. We're going to create this page. There is volume here. We're going to create this page utilizing zeros. We're going to use the zeros and then just proper optimization, the right words in the right places, the right amount of times. I'll share this with you. Okay. Now what we're going to do here is we have GSA search engine ranker list. That's our keyword. We then want to go down our list here and figure out who the primary winners are. So what we'll do is we're going to go grab these players here. All right. Now you can grab 3 to 5, but what we want to identify first is the word count. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to the page, the #1 ranker. I like to put them in order. And then what you'll do is you're going to click on your SEO Quake extension. It says SQ. and then click on density. This is going to tell us the word count. Okay. 2,400. Next. 3,361. So plus 3,361 plus 1,531 equals anomaly. Now this happens a lot. Oftentimes the Chrome extensions will pull in, faulty WordPress themes or faulty websites, or perhaps double count stuff, or maybe even the webmaster made a mistake. Now we cannot factor in an anomaly, something that's outside the norm, because they could be here for more than one reason, right? It could be off page. So what we're looking for is we're looking for the average. So if this is an anomaly, what we want to do is grab one more. So we'll move right past him or her and go to the next performer. 1,200 words. Now, we have our total amount of words, 8,570. We're going to divide by the amount of sites that we used for our sample set. Ideally, in a perfect world, you would go and grab all 100, right? Because that is the search results. However, you can get pretty darn close by finding the average with top performers, okay? All right, so now that we've identified 2,000 words, all right, the next step is that's our high. So what I like to do is out of the top performers, you figure out what's the low. This is your low and your high. It needs to be within this range. This is your tweak range. All right, here's what I mean by this. I've identified the average of the top performers. I then can look at these pages and I could say, okay, here's the average. What's the lowest here? 1,200. So I know that my content needs to be between 1,200 and 2,100 words in that range. All right. Now so that's exactly what we're going to do. All right. So now we have identified our word count. All right. It's going to be about 1,700 to 2,100 words is what we're after. All right. So what I'm going to do next is not what you're going to do, but I'm teaching it this way in order to showcase how important on-page is. So what I want to go ahead and do here is I want to look for a word counter. I have chubby fingers. I apologize. Word counter. Okay. So all right, now I'm not going to bore you through this, but right now what I'm doing is I'm writing my article to the tune of 1,700 to 2,100 words. What we're going to do in the next training video is I'm going to share with you how to understand and figure out how many zones or headers you need on the page. I'll also walk through with you how to identify the most important headers and which headers you need to count and make sure you don't go over or under. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and write this article here. And when we rejoin in the next video, we'll walk through how to figure out how many headers we need and how many headers we need to optimize to have the best opportunity to rank on the first page. So I don't want to waste any time. I'll see you in the next video. And as soon as I'm done writing this, I'll be back. See you in the next one. Um, all right, so that's the over-under technique. I'll answer some questions here in a second. Okay. Preferred hosting for WordPress, favorite theme builder. Figured I would ask since you will most likely optimize for me. Keith, great question. So we like either Live Canvas or Bricks.io. Um, you know, we have it's completely up to you, but we have lifetimes for the themes and all the plugins. Like everything we use, we have lifetimes for. Generally for our clients, for a small fee. We'll upload it, set it up, and you have it. So with that being said, it's completely up to you. But if you're going to choose a theme or a builder, please Bricks and or Live Canvas or Breakdance. All right. And then as far as plugins are concerned, SEO Press is our preferred SEO plugin. And then for speed optimization, we like WP Rocket. Again, for SEO Press, WP Rocket, themes, we have you covered, and for a much lower cost. All right, so hopefully that helps you out, and we'll set them up for you. All right, got my ranking back. You're welcome. Simon, I think never can detect the value of articles. The difference between humans and AI is almost nothing. SEO becomes paid service. Yep. Ollie G, Chris, you're the man. 46% new customers first 2 months this year. Last year, 22%. You and your team rock. Thank you, Ollie. Dude, this is what I love to hear. Wow, this is 2 clients, man, in one chat that are doing exceptionally well. You know, I do have some that fall, right? But I've gone through this even with Ollie. It's like if we could just stay on the path, you know, we can do so much better. We still have an issue though on Ollie's site that a lot of the stuff is flat, and the only thing that's getting traffic currently is blogs. But we've started building out all, you know, man, for a while there you were ranking, we were crushing. But Ollie's coming back strong, and I know that Mo's coming back strong too. When you have time, thanks for showing me what you mean by internal linking the right way, and how do you get rid of dead weight? Okay. Can you? So that's a good question. So Simo, I think Google never can detect the value of the articles, the difference. Okay. So Hami, which type of backlinks are best for services sites? You have to look at the top performers. So go look at the top 10 results and figure out what category of link they're buying in. So everything's based on what Google's rewarding. So what category of link are they building? So if you look up Majestic categories, you'll understand what category types are. SEMrush, Ahrefs, Majestic, and Google all use the same exact category types. They use verbatim. Google classifies sites based for their ads platform. And the SEO tools have also identified backlinks utilizing Google's terminology. This is how classification works. So sites aren't classified based on content. They're classified based on referring domains when we're talking about off-page. All right. So hopefully that helps you out. Preferred hosting for WordPress, favorite theme builder. I figured I would ask. Okay, so for hosting, if you just want a managed, easy, fast solution, I mean, we always go Google Cloud, and then we set it up, right? For you, just go and see Cloudways. Cloudways, use their cloud WordPress managed. It's a little bit costly, but it's slightly cheaper than WP Engine. So I would generally recommend WP Engine and then Cloudways. It's up to you. You get pretty much the same product, a really good server that's really fast, optimized with great customer support. You pay a premium, but it's well worth it. Those are what I recommend. WP Engine, Cloudways. That's the best. It's hands down. But if you know how to set it up, I use Google. Like my website, at least the one I show here on YouTube, is on Google. A lot of the other ones I set up are through Cloudflare, CloudFront, so Amazon, Azure, or Google. If you have some technical, you go to the top players. That's who I like, because it's fast. You know, like their stuff is fast and secure. So, all right. Hello and welcome back to the training. So in this video, I want to catch us right back up to speed. What we did is we have already written our piece of content. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and find that briefly. So I have written out my piece of content. All right, so we have 1,660 words. We know that the under is 12 and the up is 2,100. So we want to be in that range. Now, the very next step, because we have our filler content, right? The next thing that we need to identify is how many of what words need to be used. This can also be considered density. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, so I've gone to the top 4 players and I go right to SEO Quake and I'm looking at the density tab again. But this time I'm not looking at word count. I'm going to look at the words that are being used. Okay. Oh, that's right. All right. We're going to open this player up here. So we've opened up the top performing websites. And now we want to look at our primary search term first. So the primary search term here is GSA, search engine ranker list, 5 words. So what we need to identify here is GSA, search engine ranker. So that's 20 times. List 10 times. Okay, GSA search engine ranker list. 3. Okay. So his high count is 20. He would use it on the page 20 times. GSA, see? GSA SER, how much do you want to bet this guy is above this guy? You know why? Because he used it on the page more times. So GSA SER link list. Look at this, reads right in order. So this is probably a key player right here. So he has low word count, which gives it a high density, and he's repeated it a lot of times, and I'm sure he's done his other homework because he clearly understands math, right? So GSA search engine ranker list, 5 words. Okay. So that's 60 times. All right. So we're just looking at how many times. GSA search SER lists. Okay. All right. So the highest person had 98. GSA search engine ranker ranking. It's a variation of the primary. Okay, so we know that that's what we need to utilize. GSA search engine ranker list, and then I did lists, I did ranker, ranking. Okay, I just put variations on there. If you were unclear on what I was doing, it's GSA search engine ranker, that's SER. So we have SER, and then I did search engine ranker. The top player used it 38 times, I did 40. All right, search engine ranker, and then I did ranking. Okay. List and lists, because I saw variations up here at the top on each player's website. So on each person's site, I saw that they were using a variation at the top more times than they were utilizing lists. So I added it to my list, right? Variations are very important, all right? So you always want to get your primary terms, variations, and you want to figure out, well, out of these players, they all have about the same word count. How many times are they adding it to the page? We want to go slightly above. Now, there is a math equation, right? My friend Kyle Roof shared the math equation. Now, I'm sure some math has changed over time, but it's 2 standard deviations above the average, all right? Now, that's a little bit much. So what I like to do is I like to just look at it manually, just like I'm doing here. I figure out primary keyword, figure out how many times the top player has it. I want to go slightly above, like 2 or 3 times more than what they have. And then the next step that I want to take a look at is what are the most important co-occurring key phrases based on the top performer. Now, how we can understand what the top co-occurring key phrases are based on the top performer, because this tool itemizes things by the amount of times that it's used on the page, right? If it's used a lot of times on the page, that means it's important. So what I'm looking for is LSI. I'm looking for co-occurring keywords. I'm looking for words that often come up when talking about whatever the item is. In this case, it's GSA search engine ranker list. So what would be keywords that show up towards the top that often are talked about when talking about GSA search engine ranker? Does that make sense? I hope it does. So we can see tool, marketing, tools, marketing. Wait a second, let me just see something here quick. Tool, tools, marketing, SEO, SEO. Okay, I'm looking for co-occurring key phrases. So this sorts by words. So I'm looking for words that come up when talking about GSA search engine ranker list that were used multiple times on the page, because these are important words. And I didn't put them at the top, Google did. So these are the most relevant. Now they could be there for multiple reasons, but one of the reasons is because they have the right words the right amount of times. So we already know what our keyword is. So what are those secondaries? And that's what we look at. So that's what I'm looking at. GSA, search engine ranker. So I don't see SEO. Verified. Okay, that makes sense. Let's do verify. The word order, I saw that a few times. Web. Links. Links and link. Links and link and website. Okay. How many times? Okay. Link. Links. Links. Link. Website. Google. Content. Tool and tools. Okay. So I'm just going down the list here. Which can I identify a word that comes up a lot of times? System. So we're talking about a tool. Target. Okay. Lists. Web. So we have website because the other player had website. So web, that makes sense. Target again. Search. Verified. Service. Well, service. Just nah. High quality links. Ranker. Template. PL. Template. Templates. .sl. Okay. Now we're just rounding this off. Verified. I saw order again. If I see it show up twice, I'm going to take that as a co-occurring phrase. Order twice. So it's on 2 of the top performing websites. Order 15, 12. Okay, so they're within the same range. So we're going to add that. Order. Okay. 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 Alrighty. Beautiful. Now, this has identified our primary term, the density of our primary term, our co-occurring key phrases based on the top performers. The very next step that I like to do, but this is optional, but I find this to be very helpful, is I like to go ahead and take a look at a tool. And the tool that I like to use is SEMrush in order to identify any co-occurring or entities that I may have missed. So let me walk you through that process right now. Now, if you don't have SEMrush, you can do it manually like I just showed you. All right. But I can almost guarantee that when we look at this, you're going to find that the words that we picked out is exactly what is being utilized looking at a tool set like SEMrush that's going to take into account the entire SERP. All right. So what you'll want to do to find co-occurring key phrases or entities utilizing a tool such as SEMrush, in order to figure this out, what you do is you come inside of the Keyword Magic tool. Bear with me. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to Keyword Magic and you just type it in. GSA, search, engine, ranker, list. And then on this left-hand side, what you're going to see here is the co-occurring key phrases. These are your LSI terms right here. Here's by volume. Okay. So if you take a look at this, it looks like they have a couple others. These are zeros though. So verify shows up. These were found on the pages. So these are the words. Oh, I need all. There we go. Make sure that you're on all. I was on broad match for whichever reason. So what we want to do is sort by volume. And then we go down this list. Now take a look. So this is the fast way of doing what I just showed you how to do. Okay. But you take a look at this. Engine. Engine. GSA, of course. List. Ranking. Ranking. Search. Search. Verify. Verify. Free. I don't think I put free. How many times? None, but it shows up as a co-occurring phrase. Global we got, or we have. Keyword. I don't think I added that. So let's go ahead and add that. Keyword. And the word site. All right. So now we've identified this right here. So this is word count, density, and LSI terms. So co-occurring key phrases, the main, how many times do I have to get the actual keyword into the page? What's the density going to be? And then on top of that, I also figured out what the density was for LSI. Remember, relevance equals rank. So if these are LSI terms, these are the most common terms that often come up when talking about a subject. That means I'm relevant to the subject. So I have the optimization. That's GSA Search Engine Ranker list. But now I need to be relevant. Like, am I talking about this topic properly? And that's why we add the LSI, okay, or co-occurring key phrases, however you want to look at it. Now, in the very next video, what I'm going to walk you through is how many sections should be on the page. We know our word count. We know what words need to be on the page and how many times. Next, we need to figure out how many zones, just like in school. You know how, to write out, say, an essay, you have to structure your page. So we want to structure our page, how many headers, and then how many headers need the keyword in it, and then we'll fill in our content, and we'll take it from there. But this was a very important session, this particular video, how to figure out their word count, the density, exact match, and LSI, very important. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. How to optimize body content for relevance. How to optimize page for keyword. How to optimize page for keyword and relevance. There you go. How to optimize the page for keyword plus relevance. All right, now, so we've got to add our article here. Hello and welcome back to the training. So in this video, I would like to share with you how you can make sure that you're utilizing the exact key phrase on the page the optimal amount of times. So let's go ahead and get right back to where we left off, which was figuring out which keywords we needed to have on the page, how many times. Now, what we need to ensure, though, is what is the exact amount of times the exact phrase showed up on the page. Oftentimes, it's only once or twice, maybe 3 times. But in some rare cases, it shows up a lot of times. Now, what I want you to make sure of is this is how I have gone into a page in the past. And just by removing one exact phrase off the page rose up. This is a very powerful understanding that, hey, if they've utilized the exact phrase on the page 3 times, that's what we need, 3 times. All right, so let me go ahead and share this with you. So what we want to do right now is we want to head on over to our SERPs, right? So we know that these are the top performing pages. And what I love about this tool for doing manual accounting is we can then come in here and take a peek at the exact key phrase. So it's GSA SER ranker list. GSA search engine ranker list. 5 words. So ooh, doesn't look like there is 5. That's odd. GSA SER list. GSA search engine ranker list. So 4 times. GSA search engine ranker 4 times. All right, now what you've noticed there is I decreased GSA SER, all right, by 5 because I'm going to make it an exact match. Okay. All right, so that's 5 times. Now, the very next thing is I need to figure out, we can't just take the first person's, we can't take their word for it. GSA, search engine, ranker, 7 times. Okay. GSA, search engine, ranker, 21 times. Is this the 3,000 word article? Yeah. So SER verified lists. Search engine, ranker engine. Okay. I don't know if they're going to count. GSA search engine ranker. Okay. Let me see what this guy has. Six. Okay. So it's this one. GSA SER. $35 times GSA search engine ranker. So what I'm doing is I'm just checking this down here because I want to make sure I got my count right. So what I'm doing is I'm going down to the cloud, which is the whole text. So 21 times is the highest. Search engine ranker. 11. GSA SER. 60 times. Let's go down here. Now, the reason why I took those singles off is because the count is right next to each other. This is a top performer. They have GSA, SER. They go together. All right. Now, I knew it was 2 separate words, but GSA, SER, GSA, search engine ranker, it's the same thing. So we're going to do that. Like, that's the count. All right. I'm going to do this one last one. So I'm looking for GSA search engine ranker. That's 10. SER. And then you got SER list. Okay. GSA SER list. GSA search engine ranker list. Okay. All right. Now we're using the phrases, the variants. Lists. We're going to say this 30 times. And this is going to be 35 times. Okay. All I'm doing is I'm getting the count. All right. I didn't change anything. The numbers are still the same. You could just add them, but I'm getting the proper words. Oh, I actually have to go. So my time is up here. Dang it. The clock slipped me. Time flies when you're having fun. So I guess we're going to have to rejoin this at another time, unfortunately. So let's skim through here real quick and see if there's any questions. I apologize. Dang it. Let me leave myself a note so I don't forget. Okay. Chris, create exact match phrase and body video. File save. That's where you left off. Okay. I put it into the resources. I'll answer any of these last questions. Time just slipped right by me. I apologize. On page and figuring out good links to build for cheap is my favorite things. So I truly apologize. Hey Chris, find what methods are the top performers used for Google approve them to rank in the SERP, because all I see shows me that the top performer is even worse than the other ones below it. That's right. Dude, I know. That happens a lot. And then J5, I need to go to sleep now, so watch the rest of this back. Thanks for the helpful live. I'll catch up in the next one. Thank you. And then don't forget SEO Masterminds for 5% off. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, Big Mom. I know I'm coming.